All right, gird your loins, fellas. Gird your loins. Sit tight, strap in. As they say, when you're about to crash on an airplane, bend over, put your head between your knees, and kiss your ass goodbye. Warning, Arch's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see what everybody's doing tonight. It is Saturday night once again here at the old Arch Ranch. And it's raining currently in Midtown. It's raining out, but it's kind of snowing. We're supposed to get a snowstorm. And this is how it kind of works here up on the island. He said, Brett goes, okay, folks, don't forget to smash the like button. So the way it kind of works here on the island, let's see, it's 35 degrees, but it's raining, right? So here on the island, we get rain usually first. Now, the ground is pretty frozen. It's been freezing out for the past several, weeks. Freezing. But today was kind of nice. It was out. I'll show you what I was doing today. I'm going to run a quick video on what I was up to and a little bit of what I was up to all week. So I was having fun. I was getting a lot of stuff done. And today was darkish. Occasionally the sun was trying to peek through. It didn't really happen. But I don't know, after 20 degrees, it was 42, 45 maybe. To me, that was nice. Really no wind because it's been really windy here. And so I was getting everything ready because I haven't really been able to do anything outside for the most part. I didn't want to. Who wants to go out there on torrential wind and freezing sub-zero temperatures? I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm getting too old for that. Right? But when it gets after weather like that, now my hands are still cold. They're still cold. But when it gets to be about 40-something degrees, I'm all right, I'm going out. It's, I don't care if it's dark, who cares? As long as I can see what I'm doing. And it wasn't really much of a wind, so I got my machines out. I also got a machine ready for sale, but nobody's going to buy it. But, you can take a look at those in a minute. And as I was saying, when I so rudely interrupted myself, is that this is what happens. Is it'll get like this. And I've seen it snow at 45 degrees. And it'll start off by raining, and then it will snow. And it usually happens at night. So I told the family, I'm move your cars out on the lawn. Oh, you make such a big deal out of it. It's only going to be 3 inches. And then my daughter's maybe 5 inches. I'm the thing is that I have to usually plow, or I can snow blow. But if it's slushy and it's rained first and then it snows, it's slush and the snow blowers won't do it. So the plow works really good. But the property is really narrow there. There's nowhere to put it to my left moving out towards the street because my neighbor is there, and he freaked out when I put a little bit of snow on his property. He freaked out. Oh, is that Papa P68? Cheers, Arch from Ontario, Canada. Here I'm talking about cold weather, and we got a fellow here from Ontario, right, who's looking at me going oh, down by the island and the beach, it's balmy down there. Well, yeah, compared to what you guys get. Oh, it just came up to 35. It'll get a little warmer, and then it will snow. And I'm just move the cars on it so I can just plow straight out, push it to the street. Now she's put it in the street. No, you're not. Why do you fight me, daughter? Right, daughter, if you're listening, why do you fight me? Put it on the lawn, right? Because then the plow has no room to plow. They won't plow in front of the house properly. You don't know. The way it works here on the island is that usually we get a little bit of snow. Long Islanders don't care. They won't even shovel it. They'll traipse over it, right? They know how to drive in it. But the thing is that when it snows at night, and it's supposed to snow into tomorrow sometime, and the temperature's right, we could wake up with a foot of snow. It's not a nor'easter or anything. I didn't look to see what's going on because I've been too busy. We've had a couple of nor'easters already, but they were rain nor'easters because the temperature, usually we get the drop from Canada, right? It comes down, the jet stream comes down. When it starts to do that, lately it's been dipping in towards the middle of the country. And now it's moved over into the Great Lakes region, which I know some of you fellas out there are experiencing that. And then if it moves over more, because we get the warming from the Atlantic, it pushes up and just kind of squeezes that back towards the middle of the country. But eventually, one of the years, one of the seasons, it lays right on top of us, and we get that frigid Arctic Canadian horror, really, really cold air, and we'll get a nor'easter at the same time, and it's a mess, right? Stuff shuts down. So I don't know what's going to happen, right? So I got everything ready. But they just have to fight me. I'm like, just put it on the front lawn. Why is it so hard? Women they don't, well, you make such a big, listen, they don't even go out the back door half the time. I'm in and out across the property, in and out, in the basement. I got customers coming. I got stuff I'm trying to do. I'm moving around stuff, right? Moving around equipment. I need access to the building. Why can't you just do what I say? Just do what I say, or I'll take the cats away. No, I won't do that. I can't do that. But it rhymes, right? See what you guys are doing here. See what's going on. It's just, I don't understand. Tim tweets here. He goes, gee, Arch and others, it's a balmy 65 in central Texas. That's nice. And then Tim says, got fam in northwest Minnesota dealing with snow and cold. Yeah. Yeah, and that whole area is really getting hit. Like, we just had the cold and the wind and some rain. And then freezing temperatures. So I put the hoses away. As you guys know, I've been saying it. I've been kind of out there pounding the pavement out in the yard and everything, and the house, and doing all the errands and the stuff that I need to do, and trying to, get everything I need, do my running around, locking down everything, covering the air conditioners, moving stuff around in and out, be cleaning up the yard. Almost all of it's cleaned up. I worked on Tyler, my daughter's boyfriend's truck again. And that is another problem with it. I don't know. It sounds like the universals are bad, but the girls brought it over to their mechanic that they have with the stuff that I can't do, because I'm not working outside in 20 degrees laying underneath there trying to figure out what's wrong with this thing. Like, it's enough. It's enough. I have stuff to do. By the way, I worked a little bit on the lathe motor. I'll show you that in a little bit. So for those who've been asking me about the lathe, what's going on with that, I put the reversing switch on. I rewired it. I cleaned it all up. I got the new switch on, the pigtails. So I'll show you a bit about that a little bit later. But first, the snow stuff. And I just been pounding on it. And then I get tired, because I have issues. And then I stop. Like this week, I was working on the lathe, the motor project. And I would put about 4 hours or maybe 5 hours in during the day, sleep late, go to bed really late. Then I'd be up working on some videos or doing some other stuff or relaxing. And it was kind of like a grind after a while. As much as I enjoyed it, it's like today I got a lot of exercise and I was really running around and doing a lot of stuff. And it was go, go, go. But when you're doing like electrical wiring on an old motor and you're trying to figure it out, and I'm writing all this stuff down and making notes and little blueprints and electrical drawings, and then I got to go in the basement and find the wire, because I organized the basement last year, and I knew I had a lot of this big heavy gauge wire. That's money. That's a lot of money in stuff that I've been hoarding, right, over the years. And it's got to be cleaned up, and I got to pick through it, and I need a connector, and I needed this, and I needed that, and where's my switches? And it's tedious. It takes time. Yeah, absolutely. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and it's done. I don't know when I'm going to get to put it on to finish that aspect of the project. But, that's next. And then a fellow called me up. He wants to know if I can work on a snowblower. And I'm like, it's going to snow tomorrow, bro. He's like, no, I'm all right with that. He's like, I just need to know, when you can do it. So, I don't know. I'm not going to go pick it up, but I'll ask Juan if he wants to go get it. I gave him some things to do. When people say, well, I'm like, give me an idea of what's wrong, right? And, just to be nice and try to get some info on it. And he's like, well, it doesn't turn over. So right away, I know he's probably using, the term incorrectly. So I let him go for a little bit. And I said, so when you spin it with the starter motor, does the starter motor spin? You hear it spin, and you see and hear the engine spin over, turn over. He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's what turn over means. I think what you're saying is it doesn't kick or fart. It doesn't fire. It doesn't try to light. I said, what happens when you pull it? He goes, well, he was trying to say that it did something different, or maybe it felt weird. So I told him, he said he tried putting a plug in it. Oh, Brett sent a video. He tried putting a plug in it. And so what happened then? He goes, well, I pulled it by hand and it felt different, but I'm not really sure. So I gave him a basic idea of what to do. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit for it to come through. I think it's his lights. There it is now. You got lights? I don't hear anything, Brett. Hold up. Oh, well, I have to show the lights. Yeah, look at the snow. Wait, Brett, why isn't it going widthwise? Why is it not going? Oh, no, you're vertical. Okay, you're vertical. I'll show everybody. Hold on. So let me just pause it. And I said, you know what? Pull the plug out. Put it. If you have another plug, great. Put a little bit of fuel in. I said, before you do that, pull it over by hand with the plug in. The spark plug. Not the wire plug to the starter motor. Pull it over. Get that feeling. Pull the plug out. Give it a pull. It should be easier. If both are easy, that's a problem. Then put a little fuel in. Put the plug back real quick. Do this fast. And then pull it over. Make sure everything's on, right? If it kicks, fires, coughs, and wheezes, that's great. Let me know. So I said, but I don't answer my phone. Text me. So what did he do? He called me. I don't know. I was outside. I don't know. I got to have to call him back. I'll try calling him tomorrow. Yeah, let's see. It's in the vertical. Oh, what is it? It's trying to go. Oh, now it's trying to go widescreen. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Brad, I thought you would do widescreen. Hold on. Oh, he's got the lights on. Yeah, that's a lot. Nice job, Brett. Yeah, see it? That's what I'm saying. So I think we're all going to get some snow, a good amount of snow this year. I think that's just the way it's going to go. I got to go beat my family over the head. They just defied me. They always did. No, I always say, nobody listens to the guy. This is my mantra. Out in the yard, in the shop, that knows all this stuff. Nobody listens to that guy, right? Why listen to that guy? Doesn't matter what I say. I don't even know why I have a show, right? Like, it's like, everything's a fight. I swear, everything's a fight. You can't help it. The kiddies are doing good. How's everybody's cats, dogs, animals, horses, and mules? Hopefully they're all doing good. They're doing pretty good. But, you know, the beanie one, the one with the claws out all the time, the youngest one, he's always into something. When we go to bed or I turn around and walk out the door, he's like, oh, good, I'm going up on the counter. I'm going to tear apart that toilet paper roll or that paper towel roll. Let me at them napkins. Oh, look, I found a bottle. Oh, look, I found a doorstop. Oh, look, I found the plug to the sink or to the tub or to the whatever. Oh, look. Oh, something new, you know. Just constant, right? And he eats it, plays with it, and moves it to another location. My daughter had a tooth out, so she got this like face thing that holds an ice pack up on your jawline, and she also went for acupuncture or something, whatever, and she did really good, right? So I think this thing came with like 4 little ice packs that like Velcro in, and it's got a soft side, and you can put it. On your jaw. And she did great. She did, there's no swelling. So she's kind of cranky. She's up there. It's late. Dad, can you bring up an ice pack? I'm all the way out here. This has been going on forever. I'm like, all right, when I come in, I'll bring up an ice pack. I go up. Cats are on the bed. And I'm like, T, here's the ice pack. What are you waking me up for? I'm like, here's the ice pack, T. You asked me to bring up. I leave it there. And then like a half hour later, where's the ice pack? I don't know. Days she's been asking me where it's gone. I said, maybe the cats took it. Well, where'd you put it? As I was trying to show you, I was putting it on your bed next to the cats. Blame the cats. Blame the cats. I don't know. I don't know where it went. It's about this big. It fits into the pocket. Johnny Bravo goes, Roxy meows high back. Let's see. Oh, he took the audio out. Yeah, Brett says, this is what's happening here. Oh, let me catch up. Johnny Rivers says, hello to everybody. Bravo says, it was low 60s this week. High tomorrow, 29. Whoa. Low tomorrow night is 15. We ain't used to this crap around here. Yeah, I know, right? That's what makes people sick. Like it throws them into that sick routine. That's why I just try to stay warm, But when it gets to like 40, like once I get my winter coat of hair on my back and my fingers, and on my palms, then when it hits like 40, if it hits 50, I got to take, I'm in the short sleeve or something. I'm not one of those guys though that I know that, usually they're like bigger guys, more jockey kind of guys, bigger guys here on Long Island. They'll walk around in shorts. They'll put a full jacket on or a big sweatshirt and layers, but they'll walk around in shorts. They might have big long socks on. These are like the Irish people, right? They wear the kilts and they have the big long socks and they're all loaded up, but they're in shorts, right? I'll be in a t-shirt, but I like it when my legs are warm. I like my back kind of warm, but I'll be in a t-shirt, which is just so weird. I'm the opposite. And if I get really hot and sweaty, I might take my shirt off. People are weird. Once it gets to around 50, I'm in my glory, right? Because we're coming out of, 20, 15, 32. I shut down around 30, right? When it gets to about 30 degrees, I'll be honest. Like, I'm back to being a cripple again. I'm like, I can't move. I don't want to move now. I don't want to do anything. This is a drag. This sucks. Darwin says meow. Bravo says, he goes, mad about mowers. Hey, brother. He goes, hello, everyone. How are you doing today? So we're going to take a look, not mowers. We're going to take a look at some tractor plow. We're going to put that on real quick. We're going to take a look at some two snow machines. So I know for some of you that don't like snow blowers that have never really seen one, never used one, sorry. You can always click away and come back. Bravo says, hey, Arch, one of your recent videos, you were trashing E3 plugs. What is your experience with them? I use them in my truck and my old Kamau hot rod, and they run great. Well, one of the last ones I just did, it was the Honda, where I freshened up the Honda and did the rear drive. I put the E3 back in, and I actually put an E3 in it, and I cleaned it up. And what I was saying in it was, they're not made very well. Like they have like a chrome plating on the outside, which rusts. It comes off. It's some kind of plating. I'm not sure what it is. It could be chromium. It could be something else. It rusts. They're not made very well for some reason. But if you gap them, like in this case for the Honda, the Honda's got a good coil on it, and I gap it tight. Find the tightest location to gap it. And I gapped it, what did I say? I gapped it at maybe 25 or somewhere around there, 25, 28. Because the way the forks come out on the plug, the gap opens up, right? So you got to get it really tight where you can get it tight. And then the gap naturally opens up because of the outer electrode, the negative electrode, or the grounding electrode. And that's what enables that spark kernel to sort of move around a bit and expose itself more to the combustion gases to light it off and fire it. And this is exactly what the same thing with Johnny. Like we used to do this in all our hot rods. I had Excel plugs. I think, what plug is it now? I think it's one of the, it might be one of the newer champions. I forget which one it was. It has a groove in it in the center electrode. And that's nice. That's another way to do it as well. And Excel plugs used to have that back in the day. I haven't used them in a long time. But they have a little slot cut in the center electrode. And that also provides an interesting gap scenario. It varies the gap. But, on our hot rods and everything, we used to use multi-spark discharges like MSD or stuff like that. Hotter coils, And that's really where the two things come together. Now, in that video I did for the Honda, you'll look and you'll see the plug, the NGK plug was running very sooty. The motor was running sooty. You could see it on the plug. I put the E3 in. I gapped it the way I said. And after using it for a couple of days out on the property, sucking up all that crap, grinding up all the junk, all the debris, I took the plug back out, brought it in, we took a look at it, and it was running nice. It was running clean. So it really depends in terms of small equipment. If the coil isn't all that good, like, some of the new EX series mowers that are out there, these are especially the smaller ones, the cheaper homey dopies. What I've noticed when when the EX engines, Briggs engines came out, they had a fairly decent size coil on them. And then as they were out a little bit longer, like anything else, the coils got smaller physically. And that suggests to me that I would stay away from an E3 because it's probably not going to be good for the coil, and the coil probably can't fire it properly. Now, going back to the old Briggs 90cc, whatever the hell they were, the 6 horsepower, 190cc, whatever the hell they are. Back in the day, the older Briggs motors, even the small like 3.5s, had a pretty beefy coil on them. And then over time, they got smaller. And I'm not talking about like the early magnetron, electronic ignition. There were a couple of variants of that. One of them had a little, it was more of almost a capacitor in there, and it had a little firing pin on it. It's like it's got the two fingers that come out, and there was another one. That was a different variation of the coil, but that was pretty big. But after that, when they were fully electronic, they were pretty big. And then as time went on, the motors got lighter, everything got lighter, and right before they got rid of the flatheads, I noticed the coils got smaller. And that's just in that series, right, of engine. By the time Takumi was gone, I mean, the coils were pretty much the same once they became electronic, and then they were gone. So I haven't really tried it on one of those. And then you have the new Predators and stuff like that. You'd have to fool around with it. It worked in my Honda really well, but it's going to rust, Like an NGK doesn't really rust. I've had NGKs around for so long that you almost have to force yourself to throw out that plug, So it seems to be working good. Like I said, Johnny and I have used them in the hot rods and fooled around with them. Gap them really, really tight. Or get rid of them if you don't want them. Robert says, never tried them in a small engine. Yeah. Brett says, I either use Champion or NGK, nothing else. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have, if you're selling it, that's the thing. I use the E3 with my machine. Then I can babysit. If something goes wrong, I can see. Then I can say, oh, I used it, and they've been using it for a year. Look, here's what it looks like. Or it crapped out on me right away, right? But like with Brett, that's like if I'm going to sell the machine, it's NGK or Champion. I'm sitting on the couch all day tomorrow, wrapped in a blanket, drinking coffee all day. Yeah, that's what I do. At night, usually. Or in the morning, too. It's cold out here in the morning. Lois says, I use nothing but NGKs and motorcycles and ATVs. Yeah, you're better off. Man About Mowers says, that is my new channel handle name. It's me, Robert Malhouse. Nice, brother. Oh, that's really good. I like that. I know, whenever I go to Nova John, I was chatting with Mick one day. He was alive during the day, and I came in and I tried chatting with him. He didn't want to hear it. I'm like, it's me, Arch. He goes, people can say anything. He wouldn't have any of me. You didn't know who I was. And in like Klaus, when I come up on Ken's channel, that's like my incognito name. He doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who I am anyway, but he really doesn't know who I am then. Yeah, I like that name, Man About Mowers. It's good that you were able to get that name, bro. I like it. Yeah, totally. It's you. Congrats. He goes, yeah, that was a split fire. Yeah, the split fires are nice. Bleach, there's Bleach. Hey, Bleach, Multiverse. He goes, I had a bad summer, and he goes, I'm good. How's everyone here? And he goes, hey, Arch. Yeah, I saw a little bit about your rantings and stuff. You had a hard time, bro. It happens, right? When you have issues, everybody has issues. I told you guys, I didn't walk for like 2 years. At first it was 1 cane, then it was 2 canes, then I couldn't sit down or stand up. When I used to take my daughter to the bus stop when she was really young, even if it was snowing or raining on the ground, that early in the morning at like 7:30-ish, I would sometimes have to kneel on the ground because I couldn't stand up. It was too painful. That early, Yeah, no. And I knew all the people at the bus stop, my neighbors and everything, and they kind of felt bad. I'm like, no, it is what it is. People have issues. It's just the way it works. It seems like people have more issues, though, now. It feels like we're getting loaded down with all the crap in the world and all this other garbage. They feed us garbage, and they poison our foods, and they try to shove stuff into us, and it's just stupid. It's crazy. Brett says, he goes, I got to read. My eyes are tired now. I can't. I got to leave my glasses on tonight. He goes, since we talk tech in here, at some point, I'm going to show you what I got coming in a week. Nice. Yeah, you've been busy doing all kinds of stuff. Brett, I've been showing what Brett sends me up on this channel here, and I send you guys to him. He's all kinds of good stuff. I like that snapper mower. But like I said, I only saw one here. I think it's too expensive. Well, look, I'm going to show you this snowblower in a minute. Nobody wants to buy it. You would think that they would. I used to get $400 for the same machine 4 or 5 years ago, right? Why is that? Because I don't want to get too deep into it, right? Because it's too frustrating, Now I can't give it away for $200, $250. People don't have the money. And especially here, because Long Islanders are used to this garbage, snow, and ice and horror. They'll step over it. Like I said, they'll slip and slide and fall on their butt, whatever. They don't care. Maybe they'll shovel it. Maybe if it gets really bad, they'll dig out a car. Let's see what Brett sent. He sent an attachment. Let's see. So Mikey's got what he wanted. Is that the same attachment? What is this one? Wait, hold on. Is that the same one? Hold on. Why is it? Is it stuck? Brad, is that the same one? It looks like the same one. But it's stuck, though. This one looks like it's a little bit different. It looks like it's the same one. Wait, hold on. How do I make that stop? There's no done. Yeah, that's the same one. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. Let it go off, just in case, because I think it just got stuck. It's old, like me. Yeah, there goes. It went off. Now plug the power cord in, and it was weird. I think it's been doing something lately, right? Because the battery kept dying, like really quick, and I'd plug it in and try to charge it, whatever, and then I tried shutting it off and doing all these things. I don't know if it was recording something or I don't know. It wasn't updating or anything because I won't let it. And then that went like that for several days. A really short battery life. And then it stopped. And now it's like kind of back to normal again. So I think it was up to something, personally. Let's see if it logs back in. Yeah, it's trying. Yeah, here you go. Here we go. Yeah. Ooh. What's this? Here goes. Let's see. What's this? What'd you pick up? Oh my. Are you considering a TCL 65-inch class T7 series 4K OLED? Oh boy. Yeah, that's like $500. It's not bad. Let's see if it'll take me to it. I don't shop or anything with this phone. I don't do email. I don't do anything like that. I don't look at it for stuff like that. But yeah. Nice. 65 inch? Is that the same? No, that's something different. 4K QLED. Yeah, it's not really taking me to that place. Is that what we're talking about? Is it the 65 inch? Yeah, 65 inch T7 series 4K OLED. Oh wow. Yeah, a lot of people are going to 4K. Well, I do a lot of my videos in 4K because I know a lot more people now are getting sick of the phones and everything, and the prices for the bigger, even the smaller 4K TVs are coming down, and they're smart, and you can go online and do whatever you want with them. Spoiler alert. Yeah, it's a link. He goes, hold on, let me catch up. Yeah, oh, wait. Let me catch up. Since we talked tech, then Bleach says, my tools were stolen by a neighbor. Oh, wow, bro. That's effed up. He goes, I have very little. Police do nothing. I have cameras. Yeah, no, that's the problem we've been having. Heading to kitchen for a beer. Can I bring anyone else one? Yeah, absolutely. Brett says it's a link. Bleach says after it happened. Yeah. It's just crazy. Spoiler alert, it's a new TV. No, it's the one below it. Back QM 6K is the one I'm getting. Oh, okay. 4K is now old news. It's going 8K now. Yeah. Yeah, but even the 4Ks are nice. If you don't want to spend all that money. And I just upgraded to 4K. I'm one generation behind. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. Some of that doesn't matter. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. I started another channel, but I didn't do anything with it yet. But I started another channel. I got to tweak my logo a little bit. And this week I was so busy, but it didn't matter because we didn't pay the cable bill on time. So they basically cut my internet service down to a crawl. And I'm like, well, I can't upload anything now because I have a bunch of videos I can upload to that channel. But that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about on this other channel because it has a lot to do with what cameras are being used in the recordings that you're looking at, whether it's on YouTube or a movie or how old a movie is. And there's a lot to do with all of that because 4K, 8K, that has to do more with screen size and the pixel count and whatever, but it doesn't always equate to better quality. It's just that they're capable of higher quality. So if you're watching something that's in a very high quality, whether it be a movie or YouTube or recording or something, well, then it's capable of giving you. But it will make a lesser quality thing look okay. But a lesser quality thing will really show its ugliness, right? In a screen of very high quality, especially if it's big, right? It'll really look like crap. But like I said, people are getting away from the cell phones and stuff. Just tablets are nice. More of our viewing, I think, we're going to go back to the sort of TV kind of format. Not that we're going to get away from the cell phones, but I think we're going to start just doing a little bit more. Everything in the computer world, when I had my little computer business and I was getting into it. Computers, were big. The screens were decent size. My first was a CRT, 19-inch. I said to my friend Rob, I want quality. I can't stand looking at garbage. We got a nice CRT, 19-inch, which was big for the time. The thing was huge. It wasn't that big, but it was huge. And then my first LCD monitor is up there was $700 for a 17-inch. That's insane. Well, that was also, I put a warranty on it because I thought it might burn out. It never did. It's still up there. And I still use it, like when I'm testing computers. And then computers got a little smaller and much, much faster, as we know. Laptops got lighter. Laptops got bigger. Laptops got smaller. Then we started to get the phones, right, with all the technology. Phones were very small. I still have my flip phone, my little slider, right? Here's a blast from the past. I still have it here. Yeah, wait. I have one of them here. Here's my LG, but I still had a P90, something 90, whatever it was. This is the slider phone. So if you remember, and then you slit it for a full keyboard effect, right? Then phones got bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And then even the newest one is even bigger than this iPhone and whatever else. And I have the others around here somewhere, wherever the hell they are. I got another one here, which I'm controlling my camera. They got bigger, right? And then we like moved away from desktop computers. And they started giving us these e-booky crappy, remember the e-book and all that garbage? These things could barely get out of their own way. They were so crappy. And then those got faster and lighter. And now we're at a bigger phone, and we're at really big TV screens. And the quality and the price. Quality went up, the price came down. And I think we're just going to start moving away from just viewing all this content on the phones, because it's great for surfing and everything, but you can't see it. And like I got Ken into it. And Ken recently, I think he just said on one of his live streams, he set himself up with a big screen, which he's got on the wall. Everything is like wireless, but you got to have a good wired system somewhere. And you got to have your router, it's fast, and you got to have good internet. And all that's got to be set up right. And once that's set up right, it's like you can see everything. He's like, I can see everything. He's sitting back in his chair. He's got wireless keyboards. He's got full command center going, right? Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I've always been into wide screens before, multi-screens and everything, before anybody else was really doing it. I loved it, and then I got into, the gaming, and then I got into the flight sim. Bleach says, traumatized from everything. Took the ranting videos down. Oh, that's good. Well, sometimes it's good to... what's good about any video that you put up is that you can always take it down. I do that. I get rid of some of my crappy videos. I keep going back. And any video that it just isn't really... Nobody's watching. YouTube's not showing it. So it just drags your channel down. So I'm like, you don't have to stay up. Well, feel better, Bleach. Everything goes in cycles. David Morrison, 7424. Very little is broadcast in 4K. Many TV providers dumb down the TV resolution for the internet traffic. Yeah, they forced that on us. Like they could raise up it, but they forced all this nonsense on us. It's unfortunate because it was free, right? And I liked it when it was free. I've told the story that I remember when we set up the apartment in my old house. And my wife at the time, my ex-wife, my future ex-wife, and I moved in there. We bought a 27-inch tube TV. I think it was a Magnavox or something. It was a lot of money, especially for us at the time. Big thing. And we were all happy. We set up the cable, and the cable was, first it was over the air, and we got really good reception for where we were. And it looked great to us, right, for the time. And then cable came, and we put the cable in. Cable had been around, but finally we got the cable. It was $20 a month, and I remember it went up. And it was really cheap at first, and it was like a little over $20 a month, and I freaked out. I'm like, this is ridiculous. We were getting this for free. I'm not paying that. That's too much money. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Now it's over 100. Let's see. Bro says, I don't know if I could tell the difference between 4K and 8K on a 75-inch TV. I'm thinking of giving myself 100-inch for Christmas. Nice. That's big. That would be too big for here because I have some bigger TVs and stuff and monitors, whatever, in the basement. I'm like, that's just too big for in here. I'd rather have multiples. I just don't have the wall space. I made the same mistake when I put all these windows in. It's the same mistake I with the house, right? Because it's really like a farmhouse. 1927 is very old, and there was no AC. So one of the things about this house is it's all windows. There's like no walls. Well, the problem with having no walls is there's no place to put anything because everything's got a window there. It's great because there's plenty of light and there's plenty of air movement, but when you want to put something, like, where are you going to put it? You can't hang it on a window, especially you don't want to block it. And even if you do block it, it's just weird. So, yeah, there's that. So I can hear it's the same kind of thing. And as I'm like laying it out, like this little 27-inch monitor, I pick it up and I move it around. Like I have it over here right now. And so I pick it up and I move it around to where I can see it. And I've even seen it where I was telling Ken about this. There's I forget what they call it. I'm just not thinking of it. But it's a professional stand, and it's basically a universal stand, and you can hang anything you want on it. And if it gets unstable, you get sandbags and you drop them over the feet. And the feet you can put wheels on, and you can put a boom on it. And you can hang a TV on it, a monitor on it, a big monitor. You can hang a computer on it. You can hang, and like you could literally set everything up, literally, on this one thing that you roll around. And as long as you can roll it around, right, you can have literally everything on it. And, a lot of studios use this. It's just like super overbuilt. All that stuff, the real AV equipment is nice. And you just hang everything on it, and then you just roll it around, right? And you can do anything you want with it. Let's see. Dimitro says, he says, hey, Arch, I'm trying to replace the worm gear on a Tecumseh starter that engages the flywheel on a Buddy's 8 horsepower Tecumseh. I'm not buying the Tecumseh $70 tool to take off the clip. The bull ring tips. Yeah, it's not easy to do. Something very sharp. You kind of have to grab it from... I generally don't do it. I generally don't have to. I used to just put different starter motors in, but now they're getting expensive. Yeah, even on the bigger starter motors, like a car starter motor, that little C-clip. Is that what you're talking about? You got to pry at it. There is a tool for that. 2 screwdrivers. It's going to go boing, right? It's going to disappear. So you have to be prepared for that too. You have to put it like in a hood or something and work in there and try to pop it off. You need something very sharp that you can drive in and try to drive it out if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, great. Good luck with that. Yeah, pain in the neck. That's when the tool works, but it's not worth it because you're never going to use it again, most likely. For that stupid little gear, right? Yeah, I know. Papa 68, Papa P. Arch, any thoughts on those mini PCs? Yeah, I mean, some of them are pretty good. It's all about specs, so it depends on what you're doing. Absolutely. Any PC is good if you match it to what you're going to be doing. The small little laptop thing, notepads, notebooks, whatever you want, it really just depends upon what you're doing with it. If you're just going to surf with it, do email, and maybe bring up some documents or whatever, you don't need much. Your phone can do a lot of that. So you just can't see it, and you don't have, real typing capabilities unless you're just a pecker, like a pecker, right? Unless you got your pecker with you. It really just depends. Like this PC, and this will be on my other channel at some point, but yeah, it's got 7 hard drives in it, 64 gigs of RAM. That's a lot, right? And it's very heavy, and it's hard to lift up, but it does almost everything I need it to do. I need to replace it. I need a newer one. It doesn't run Windows 11. I'm running Windows 10. It's a lot of money to build something equivalent to this and better. And that's a lot of money. And it's not that I don't want to spend it. I don't have it. If I had the money, if I clear off my credit cards and pay them down, then I could maybe justify it at some point. I only have 2 that I use. I got my Amazon account, and then I got my other card. And, it's got plenty of available balance on it. But these interest rates have become insane. So if I don't have the cash, right, I have to put it on a card. If it broke and burned out, I'd have no choice. Like if it just burned out, because I would need a replacement. I have another computer over here that's old, and it works well, and it does a lot of cool stuff. It's a custom computer. I used it as a server for a while, and game server, and a bunch of other things, and that's hair. Let me throw this out. That's hair from my comb. That's gross. Yeah, what little hair I have left. So yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about on my other channel, where I can get into it deeper without driving everybody away, right? I mean, on the live shows, we talk about all kinds of stuff, really. It just depends. But it's money. How much do you want to spend? So that's why I say if you can match the machine to what your needs are, you won't need to spend any more than you need to. Now, a lot of people go to Apple. I'll get you out of here on this. A lot of people go to Apple, and so what's nice about the Apple ecosystem is once you know what you want to do, what your needs are, and you're willing to spend a little bit more money, if you can upscale to, you figure out what Apple's ecosystem you're going to be in, what machine you're going to get, and everything connects to it very easily. Everything works with it. And then if you can kind of notch it up a little bit higher, you'll have it probably for about 7 years or so. Some people have them for 10 years before, you could, before either it's just won't update anymore or it doesn't match their needs. The thing is with Apple, Apple and computers is there's no upgrading. You can't add something in. It would always have to be externally. Like you can't replace the processor or the memory or the hard drives or what. Everything is like soldered in. Like with all the Windows stuff, this system's been upgraded and torn apart and put together so many times it's not funny, over its lifetime. But you can't do that with Apple. So if you can scale up a little bit to like maybe up the next machine and everything talks in that ecosystem, it's very nice and you'll have it for a long time. Just make sure you're getting everything that you're going to be needing and you're going to be using because like I said, you're not going in there other than to clean it, So, let's see. Bravo says, he goes, my media room has a high def projector and a 155-inch screen. Freaking, the OLEDs, are getting that, are getting that big. Is it the OLED or QLEDs are getting that big anymore? Not sure if I get that. The projectors were nice, though, for a while. Yeah, Papa says for a garage, yeah. Yeah, something small is nice for a garage. Especially if you want to do something like where you want to look up diagrams and order parts. I mean, if that's what you're going to be doing, you don't need a lot. And why burn all the electricity? Hey, Tommy's here. He goes, oh, gee. He goes, feckin' cap lock bites my ass every time. You need a new keyboard like I do. Hi, Tom. He goes, oh, Dolby. He goes, this TV is a quantum dot mini LED. The QLED 65. I may do a video, maybe not since it's not shop related. Yeah, but I would do a video anyway because your channel hasn't really nailed. It's not like Greasy Shop Rag or some of the others where you're really just hammering on like saws or whatever. If your channel starts to get big doing that and then you go do a TV, like you can't, right? You get locked in. You're not really locked in. And also it depends upon the presentation. Like some of your stuff is like I like to do the way it was and the way it is now. And I can bitch and moan and, talk up some cool old stuff. There's a lot of that in my channel, but that fits. You've done some of that as well. That can fit in a lot of things. But what's wrong with something new? Because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, listen, if you're going to go buy something, you can't get everything old. That's crazy, right? So what's wrong with doing something new? See what it does. You can always take it down. That's my thing is like, I'll leave it up for a year because it usually takes me about a year because my channel's small. And if it's up for about a year and it's starting to get some traction, then I'll leave it up. I mean, I'm just, when I mean traction, like there's a couple of older videos. Now that my channel is slowing down for the season, there's a few much older videos that people are hitting me up on and they're asking me questions. Hey, if 1-2 people watch one of my old videos and it's not just sitting there like some videos that I have that go nowhere, if they're just asking me a couple of questions every now and then, I'm happy. I'm like, wow, that was an old video, bro. You're asking me questions about something that happened 4 years ago. I don't know what to tell you. I'd have to watch the video again, But I'm just so happy that they're looking at it and they're saying something because I do have videos that they just died on the vine, But you can always take it down. Why not? Time to buy that Harley. Yeah, totally. Yep, before we get too old. No, I can't deal with that anymore. I've had too many broken issues and broken pieces and broken back. I don't need any of that anymore. I don't want to fall off a bike. That's the last thing I need. Bravo goes, when you get it, come over. We got some awesome roads. Yeah, you guys probably can't be that far. We'll smoke some ribs and drink some beer. Absolutely. Pow. Brett says, my non-shop videos get all the trolls. I hate trolls. Do they really? But you don't listen, if they're commenting, that's YouTube's algorithm doesn't really know. It just wants to know if people are watching it and if they're participating. They don't, as long as you don't, like, they don't say anything absolutely horrible, because then usually YouTube will knock them off. They'll put them in that timeout section on our channels. I forget what they call it, but it's basically like a timeout section. I don't check it because I don't really know where it is. It's somewhere on there. Zippo was telling me about it. He's like, you got to check that area every now and then. People wind up there and it's not for anything they really did wrong. I'm like, really? Yeah, that can happen. I don't know if it still works though. I don't know if they're still doing that. But at least they're saying something. I mean, I got another troll the other day. He had a good idea, except he said it like a dick. And that's what I'll probably write back to him. You know, I was talking about this long thing going on about, hard starting snowblowers and why some of the older ones are hard to start. And I was explaining it because not everybody that watches my channel or a particular video knows stuff like we do. Some of them are like right from the beginning beginners. And so this idiot, and after he got done telling his life story, I realized all I needed to do was heat it up. Yeah, that's why I was explaining why, you need to heat up the tube, right, or the intake tube, or why it takes so long, and I was explaining this. So I put a heat gun on it, and it started right up. But he was just a dick about it. Like, he had a good idea, but he had to be a dick and ruin it. And that's probably what I'll write back. I probably won't even... what I'll probably do, since the way he was speaking towards me and the way he was speaking at me, as if I wasn't there, after this guy got done with his life story, so I'm going to be like, well, after this guy had a nice idea, too bad he had this guy, whoever he is, had a good idea, because it's too bad he had to be a dick and say it like a dick, Trolls. Have fun with them. My channel was doing good till the break. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes it's good to take a break, by the way. Just time off. Bravo says, make the videos that you want. If you aren't monetized, it's all about you. Yup. Even if you are monetized, what's the difference? What's the difference? You got to have fun. The 3 pillars. Don't waste your time. Try not to waste somebody else's time, and you got to have fun. That's what I always say about being a YouTuber. You got to have those 3 pillars. All the other stuff is all the other stuff. The frills, the fills, the ambiance, the techno, non-techno, whatever it is. Who cares? You could have a food channel. You could have a travel channel. You could have one of these kind of channels. Whatever. Who cares? But I always see this every year. People come up, they're not having fun anymore. They want to change the direction. They don't know if they want to do it anymore. They quit, Every year, I see these videos come up. Right around now, they start coming. Mad about mowers. I got to keep saying it. He goes, I need 2 18-inch pipe wrenches and a 2x4 to bend the front of the 50-inch mower deck. Yeah, I saw that today. You can't get the right side runner skid plate installed. Yeah, you just got to bend it. Or hammer it, take it off, or bend it. Even if you put the pipe wrench on, you're going to have to jack it up in the air, right? Because the pipe wrench is 2 feet, so you're going to need 2 or 3 feet up in the air, right? And then you're going to need to pull it. So you're going to have to jack it up, and you're going to need to pull it, Or, then you do, it depends on what you have laying around. Like, I have pipe wrenches. If I, come along, you can tie a come along to the front of it, tie the come along to the frame in the front, and then pull it in, put your part in place, and then it'll spring back a little bit, but it can only go so far because that bar will be holding it. Or bang the hell out of it. Bravo says, if you are monetized, you have to bow to the AI gods. Well, only if you want to make money. I don't bow to the gods. I just cater to them. right? I bring them their grapes and feed them, right? No, I just cater to them a little bit so I can, because I need the money, but I don't go nuts. I mean, I do all kinds of different things on my channel, which is a no-no. So if I really wanted to just lock in and just to make money, you wouldn't see half of the shit that's on my channel. I wouldn't put it up there. So there has to be a balance because I still want to enjoy myself, you know? Although, like I said, some of the stuff that I want to talk about on my other channel, it's just not going to work on this channel. We've talked about that. It's just not going to work. You know, it'll just kill this channel and it'll kill the videos that I'm doing. And at that point, what's the point? Because if you're putting all this time into videos and 3 people watch it, it's like, I could do anything that I'm doing in the shop. I could do so much faster if the camera wasn't there. So if nobody's going to watch it and I'm not going to make any money, I'm just going to turn the camera off and go back to doing what I would normally do, what I've been doing all my life, which is all this kind of crazy stuff, you know, and it's not on YouTube. So I'm looking for a balance, you know. Bleach says, trolls are funny. He goes, I out-troll them. Yeah. Oh, mental break. Yeah, mental break. Yeah, mental break, physical break, whatever it is. Whatever kind of break. Papa says, any more vids coming up on the Chevy Astro? Yeah, definitely. You know, that's a whole other thing, too. Yeah, there's some vids coming up. So there's a couple more videos coming out on machines, small equipment, and then I'm shifting to, I got some work I did on the van, on the Astro. I got the lathe stuff. I got a bunch of other things going on because it's the end of December. It's January and February. My channel's already starting to do this. Although I'm still getting some watches, but it's doing this. And I might as well put out all those other videos. And then whatever, because I have stuff from last year and the year before that I didn't get out yet. So I'll work on them soon, you know, March, something like that, April, May. I'll kind of get back to some of that. But I want to get some of these other videos out there. And I've done so many, over 550 videos or something like that are published. A lot of those is probably more than 600, maybe 700 that I published, and I removed probably 100, 200 videos over 4 or 5 years. I just deleted them. And then there's tons of videos in the tank. You know, that's plenty. I mean, how many carburetor rebuilds can you do? How many tune-ups can you do? How many, you know, it's a lawnmower. It's a very simple machine. And I've done so many variations. I'm looking now towards the things that I haven't really done. Some of the tractor work that I really want to put out there. There's a few machines that I have for myself that are a little bit different. You don't see them out there that often. They may not get a lot of views because they're not common, but I want to do them. So that'll come next year. But a lot of the stuff you're not going to see. As much as I love some of the older Craftsman machines, I've already done a lot. Restored them, restified them, restorations, you know, showing people how to paint them and whatever. And people still ask me, like, how do you paint it? I'm like, yeah, go to my Paintucation folder, right? I have a playlist on that, you know? So yeah, I definitely want to get back to that because there's a lot more I want to do to it too. I actually just sealed the front windshield because it was leaking really bad all over the dash and the steering column. And unfortunately, the weather was starting to change. We were starting to get those 50-degree days with the nights, and it started to rain, and then it was super foggy, and it didn't really dry, and it was sort of dripping down the windshield. I did a nice job prepping it and everything. It's held up, even through the torrential rains, but it's damaged the material that I used, the caulking that I used, which is like an elastomer. So I wanted to spray it with some clear to seal it, but the weather got away from me, but it did seal. So when the weather comes back, I'll get up there and I'll Scotch-Brite it, clean it with the thinners. I'll put another layer on it. It'll be able to dry because it'll be warmer out. I don't know when that's going to be because we have the rainy season that comes up in the spring. But I guess after that, and then I want to clear coat it in place after it, cures a little bit more and lock it in. And I won't have this leak anymore. So I know where it's coming from. I know what it is now. And the other thing too is I want to repaint the van in sections. I want to do the top. So I might do the top in black, and the engine lid is rotting a little bit. The paint peeled. There's a few little rust spots. There's a few other little areas. The sides are nice. They're beautiful. So it's blue, and I'm thinking, well, why don't we do that in black too? And then maybe I'll put a stripe down the back doors or something. So just to mix it up. But the blue itself, if I go to, there's an area in the back where there's damage, I'm going to drive it over to the paint supplier, and I'll have them shoot it with the gun and have them mix me up that blue, because this is a Tiara Motor Company blue. It's not a Chevy. I don't think it's a Chevy blue. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they used. So I'll polish up a section and drive over there, and I'll buy a gallon, and that's probably all I'm going to need. And at some point, I'll probably have to take those graphics off. So I'll get the tools to take the graphics off and burn them off, and I'll polish everything up. Because it's in nice shape. I want to keep it. I mean, you see what's going on with the car industry today and everything. This thing's in great shape. The motor's in great shape. The tranny's in great shape. I've been trying to maintain it. You can't... I can't afford a new vehicle, you know. And these Chevys, I've been looking around. My buddy had one, and he bought one of those a few years after I got mine, and he got the one with the four-wheel drive transfer case in the front. Like, if I see one of those, I'm buying it. And I think he got the barn, not the barn doors, the split doors in the back, whereas mine are the barn doors. So his was really cool. I definitely liked it. You know, they look cool. I liked them, and they're useful too. Bravo says, I make vids I want, and what I'm interested in. I don't give a fook. That was my friend's last name too. Yeah, Fook. Yeah, Fuchs. Fuch. Just funny. Something. Oh, it's an alarm. Oh, that alarm's set to the wrong time. No wonder why I didn't wake up. Yeah, definitely. Give totally whatever you're into. Yeah, whatever you're into. Forget about everybody else. He goes, they led me to you guys, and you guys are awesome. Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, you guys are awesome too. It's why I like doing this show. Bravo says, he goes, shit, I get hits from vids I did 5-7 years ago. Apparently pressure washer vids are still getting hits. Yeah, sure, absolutely. And Bleach says, too many commercial ads. Yeah, but Bravo, Ken, a few others, they bought the premium, and it's totally worth it. And we still get paid. You know, YouTubers still get paid from the premium. I don't know if you get paid as much. That who the hell knows? But that's a good way to do it. It depends, right? Facebook. I sometimes watch stuff on Facebook because I use Facebook as an amalgamator of different feeds from different sources. And boy, there are some people that are popular, and I don't know if what the deal is with Facebook, but the more popular, because some of these are feeds that went directly to Facebook account, and some things, like I even post some things from YouTube, and I put them up there. So I think if it's a feed that's directly to Facebook, like a live show or something, and that person's popular, oh my God, some of these things, I won't watch them. It's like every minute there's another ad. As soon as they start talking, there's an ad. And it's usually, if they're really popular, it's usually the kind of ad that you can't skip because they're really popular. And then as soon as that ad is over and they start getting into it again, I'm like, all right, good. I walk away. I'm like, oh, there's another ad. Hell with this. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it because I can't watch it. No one can. They just killed it. Hey, Big Mike. He goes, I just got home. What's up, fellas? Big Mike says, hey, everybody. Yep. What's going on with the weather? Nice. Let me see. What's out in front of his house? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm coming over. Oh, that's a nice rig, bro. Nice setup. Hold on. Nice. That is so nice. Oh, I'm salivating. Totally. Damn. Oh, it's a good time of year, you know? It is. It is a good time of year, isn't it? Even though it's freezing out and it's cold, when you get fresh meat and there's all kinds of other things going on and people who chill with and whatever, and you slow down a little bit. He goes, Mr. Somebody, he goes, your Nova was an awesome ride. Thanks, brother. I miss that so much. I can't even begin to describe what was in that thing. And I don't think I'll ever be able to do another call like that again. I don't have the money, and it's difficult to do something like that. But I will say this, like, I won't say never, but I don't know. I don't have the money. That's the problem. That's the bigger problem. He goes, oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. Oh, she's pretty. Yeah. Oh, like I see horns on there. Nice little horns. Nice tail. Nice. Oh, that's going to be nice, bro. Yeah. Oh, that's how we have to do it, right? Real meat. You know, instead of the crap that they're trying to, man-made meat grown from cancer cells. That's what they put shit on us now. Bill Gates meat. Bug protein. Yum. Nice. It's horrible. He goes, I sent you a Facebook friend request. Did you? Like 2 years ago, you ignored me. Holy fuck, man, I'm feeling rejected. Really? I don't pay any attention. Oh, if it was 2 years ago, I don't know if it would even be there, because remember I got hacked? A lot of people disassociated themselves from me because I came up as some little hot young chick from China, right? I showed you guys that girl. I left her on, like in the pictures and everything. She had a shopping cart filled of fruit. Filled of fruit and stuff. And I said to my friend, I'm like, look at this. She's going to have some serious case of diarrhea after she sits down to that. Oh, it's just so weird. So I had to hack the hacker. And he came on, too, on my channel, on my Facebook page a couple of times. And he made a few comments. You know, it's sort of like that. Oh, what would you call it? A little bit of the esprit de corps from one hacker to another. I'm not a hacker, though. I just know, I know things. But I wasn't ready for anything like that. And I got sloppy. And, you know, because I had crap happen in my life, you know, and I got sloppy. And there was too many things going on, and I wasn't paying attention. And then I wasn't ready for it either. I had no tools, no resources. My internet was too slow. He was outpacing me. I knew I couldn't get him on speed. It's too professional. I had to find a different way to go about it. It took me like, I don't know, months, right, to get at him. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a touche kind of thing, you know. I'm not going after the hacker. Don't go there. Okay, don't go there unless you're law enforcement. You know, you don't personally go there. You don't do that. You know, bad idea. Right? Bad idea. Let's get to the little show thing. Let me. I want to show you guys this. I gotta pee though. Can I pee? Hold on. I just want to pee real quick. Hold on. Let's go. What time is it? Where is the time thing? They changed the page, the setup page for the live show, and it's weird now. Like it came up today. I'm like, great. Is it broken? Now what happened? Let's see. Where's the little time thing? It used to be right over there. They used to have a little time window, and where did they put it now? I'm like looking around. I'm like, where is everything? Everything is different. Is this broken? Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, here it is. No, that's average view duration. This is stream settings. Yeah, they changed it. Where do I get... The edit is in a different spot. What else do we got? Stream health, viewer activity. Shopping, stream health. Yeah. I don't know where the little timer is. They used to... Oh, here it is. They moved it up over here. Oh, that's a nice spot for it. Yeah. All right, quick pee break. Grab chalk, grab a beer, grab a cup of coffee, grab whatever you need. And let's set her up. It's cleaner, though. I'll give them that. It's a little bit better. Looks a little bit more like StreamYard-ish or Restream, honestly. Let's see. We got to go to the pee lady. How's she doing? Oh, it's a wet one. That's a wet one. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a lot. Oh, yeah, get that out. That sounds like me, like a minute ago. Yeah, poor lady. She's got so much going on. Yeah, like if I wanted to do YouTube again, like my next channel is I guess is in a way like starting over in a sense, right? It's funny because you look at the channel when you first set it up and you're like, there's absolutely nothing there. It's like not even anything like on the page at all. Like really nothing there. It's funny. It's kind of scary in a way. But this is more of a hobby channel. But if I wanted to like really start a channel to really dial in on the money, I think I know enough now to attempt that. I say attempt it because you don't know, but I think I know enough about YouTube and doing YouTube and what's involved and how scary it is, how much work. But I know enough. So if I really, really wanted to dive in just to make the coin, it would be a completely separate channel. And I don't know what I would do. But like I said, I know enough. The second channel is going to be a little bit more hobby oriented. For sure. So it will be monetized and all, but I don't know if it's going to be any good or if people are going to like it or not. It's just the stuff that is more hobby oriented. It's going to be tough though, for sure. It's hard finding the time just for this channel. I think I'm nuts. All right, let me see. Is it set up? Do I need desktop audio? I might, yeah.
Yardman.
Yeah, I do.
5 forward speeds, 2 reverse, 8 horsepower Tecumseh, 24-inch Schwath cut. All right, so there's the starter motor I took off last year. It didn't sell last year. I put a new primer bulb on it. I rebuilt the carburetor. I did the entire ignition system. I lubricated. I washed and cleaned off the disc and the rubber wheel and the oil and checked the belts and
nobody cares.
Yeah, and nobody wanted it.
Nobody cares.
$250. So anyway, it's going to snow tomorrow.
It's snowing now.
Start tonight. Snow King. All right, we got to put the starter motor back because Big Mike gave me that other one, which is, where is it? Right out here. I just checked it yesterday. It turns over. It's cold out. We have other stuff to do today too. So this is the same thing. Snow King. This one's older because it's got the older tank on it. This is the one that little guy, 24-inch, but it's got the little Augie, and he broke this, but I might have another one. But what I really want is the motor for the other Toro 826, which is out front, freezing. We got to get out my big Craftsman. Yeah, because you don't want to be pulling over those big motors. I love those motors, but no, I'm getting too old for that crap. Ain't nobody got time for that. I have the handlebars and the bolt kit somewhere. We really need to put that back on. And I have the cables. I need to find all that. Right, I turned it. It won't start, but I turned it over so the starter motor works. So let me put the starting motor on. I already put it up for sale. Tonight starts to
It's in the bag.
Saturday night. And we got about maybe 3 inches or so. Let me pull off the tank and all that and get started because I have it all put away in that nice bag. We'll get some fuel in it and we'll see if it runs. Unfortunately, there's no other place to put the camera. So I picked up some of this cheap fuel line because it's small. It gets hard. So it will hold its shape, but I don't know how long it will last. I don't like it. She's been sitting out for 2 years. Nobody wanted it. $250. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wants anything. It didn't snow. So we'll see. If the worst case scenario is I just put the ad in again, is nobody will buy it, but if the snow is a lot, then somebody will want it. So if it's just enough snow to piss people off enough to think, you know what, $250. Normally I used to get like 400. Yeah, those are the days, huh? Probably better off just sitting down, right? Just sit down.
Yeah, there's a big machine on my lift.
That's better. Instead of bending over. Yeah. See, when you sit down and you're relaxed, or you're standing up at the work table and you're relaxed, you're in a normal position. Well, that was smart that they put these in there, these Torx. You can't beat the old Tecumseh. So I took the motor off because I wanted it for my 826, the starter motor here, but because Mike set me up, and it works, that other starter motor. And that motor might work too. We'll see. I have a parts motor or two, and if I can get that little green machine sort of back together, and I like it enough to where I want to put a 5.5 Takumi on it, I'll do that. So yeah, we got a nice fuel filter. Let me put the rest of the stuff back on. So the oil's been changed. So yeah, Ken Small Engines had put out a video a while back,
Ken!
reminding us that, yeah, you know what? Rebuild the carburetor, clean it out, do what you want to do to it, but you need to replace the primer bulb. Absolutely. On every one, just do it. So these little screws,
Yeah,
they
everyone.
just go into the tin,
If it's a Takumi
and
and it
because
has
of
a
that,
primer bulb, just
I
replace
like
it.
to put a little bit of creamy red Loctite on, just a little bit. You can use blue too, but this thing ain't going nowhere. This way they don't, because they tend to strip or whatever, and don't over tighten them. That way it won't vibrate out. Use a couple of washers on the top, because you're only going in, you know, you got the plastic on the top of it. So I might want to put the snow blade on, the plow on the tractor, depending on how much we get done today. All right, let's get some fuel in it. I always like to pull through a paint filter because there's always scrap somewhere, but just in case. Drink it up.
Eventually.
Been sitting here for a bit, 10 minutes. No leaks yet. We don't see anything. Should be a purge down here. Yeah, there is. So good. You see some fuel coming down. Let that kind of clean out. That's always a good thing. Full choke. Let's prime it up.
It's in good shape. I like those
Now we're seeing
motors.
some fuel coming
They're
out.
decent.
Let's hope it works.
Good old school. There we go. No problem.
Let it warm up.
You gotta love the old school.
Choke's almost off. Let's leave it idle. Yeah, that's a nice idle.
It runs
All right,
good.
Let's call it. I always throw out that stupid key thing that goes in there. Stupid thing. I always get rid of that. Yeah, she runs fine. I don't know why people don't have any money. Nobody has any money. They don't want to buy. No, they'd rather spend like $1,000 for some new piece of Chinese crap. You know, it's not Chinese. At least it's not Chinese. Sorry, Chinese people. I like Chinese people. All right, that's done. That's out of the way. This I think we're going to uncover, and we're going to try to put the snow blade on a little bit. But and that can sit there for now. Where's the cover, Mike? The snapper has to sit there for now. Let's get in the shed. All right, let's see what nightmare unfolds. I had to throw my sister's pressure washer out. Sorry, Deb, but you haven't come for it. We've talked about this. It's been sitting here forever. Oh, that's not too bad. Hold on, let's get this. Made these work good a couple years ago now. We got to pin those back. What's it hitting? Pin those back with the bricks. Oh, it's all the way back there. Crap. All right. Let's pull everything out. Shit. Oh my. Crap. And there's my little areas, which I still need a belt for. We really need to get that. I'm going to leave it out. We'll leave it out. We'll see if we can get the... It's a little belt. That's all it needs. And the wheels are stuck on. One of the wheels is stuck on a shaft. And those are airless tires, so they need chains. But it's good for like little cleanup work. For sure. All right, let me get in here. Let me stop.
That's on my channel too.
1 hour later.
All right, beast is out. I think it could use a little bit of oil, but we'll run it first. It definitely needs an oil change. I mean, I haven't really used it, but the oil's been sitting for a couple of years. Let's give it a shot. Let's just see if we pull it. And I also have another one of these caps somewhere. I don't know where. You want to give it a pull and see what it does rather than just try to electrically start it? Let's give it a shot, see if it does it the old-fashioned way.
One pull.
Oh, she's a monster!
That thing is huge. Accidentally hit the button.
Yeah, let's see. I got fuel in it. There's no fuel switch. There wasn't enough room. You can always put that on another day.
It's such a big machine.
Full choke. Another prime.
Why does it keep stopping? I think I keep doing something. Why do I keep touching?
All right, let it run.
Oh, I know. I'm hitting the keyboard. There's two keyboards.
Yeah, she's not liking that. She really needs to run longer. Let me keep fooling it.
Just then.
All right, it's running outside. It's running on show. Well, we haven't used it. Let's put some Techron in. And that'll help.
Oh, that's a lot. That's all right.
I hit the drain valve on the bottom, but
Let's put
we
a
got some
little
of
more.
this in there. That's injector cleaner as well.
That's
And
a lot.
it could be just a little bit of rust too. But mostly it hasn't run. It's been sitting on its face. We'll put a little bit of lacquer thinner in there too. All right, let me go put this in the machine.
Mechanic
and
and
let
a
it run for a
kid.
while. I have other stuff to do. Yeah, without the choke, it won't run. Too lean. All right, let me put it away.
Eventually.
Well, it's still nice out, and I still have some time. Let's put the plow on this. Let's check the oil. So that machine's going to need a carburetor freshening up. Yeah, the oil's a little black, but as long as it's full. It wasn't changed. It was changed like not all that long ago. So it's going to need another change. She's a little full. Huh. I don't smell gas. Could be e-gas getting in. It could also be it's sitting a little bit on an angle. You would know. It burns oil a little bit when you start it, so you would know. Let's get a little starting fluid. Let's crank it over a little bit to get the suction going into, because it's got to pull from the tank. So we'll get some choke on it. Okay, choke off. nice out. I mean, compared to what it's been. It's made for ease of convenience. I'll rag this off a little bit, and I'll put a little bit of grease top and bottom, just a little bit, because it's so dry. And maybe I'll blow it with compressed air while we're here.
A few moments later.
All right, since there's already grease in the pocket of the plow blade, I'm going to put some rail oil on. And this has just been sitting around.
Thanks, Mike. Big Mike gave you some rail
Just
oil.
grab a dirty rag. You dirty rag. And just to clean everything up, this will kind of clean it, polish it, and protect it at the same time. And we might as well use this up. It's pretty thick. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. That's not going to go anywhere. All right, we'll pour the rest. We'll wipe that off in a bit. Now, normally I would just drive it right up, but it's not terrible. Let me put my other gloves on. So it's got to raise up a little. Yeah. And I should have the rest of it somewhere else. It's real close. We got to be over a little bit more.
Look at how easy this is to do.
We'll drip some grease on that in a minute.
Like, it really is very easy.
That's it. Just find the hole. Yep. Dry it, let it go in. That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now I gotta hook up the rod that steers it. Let me go get that out. All I gotta do, take this guy out. Take this guy off. Drop you on. Oh, that's it. Battery died, of course. So I'm just going to put a little lube in. We can also put whatever's left over of that stuff. I'm going to put a little chain wax on that. And just drews it down. But you get the idea. And then, yeah, I'm going to need a little chain wax on some of this. Protect it from the salts and stuff, especially on that spring. And we'll lift it up and I'll show you. And then that's it. I'm going to recover it. I think I'm going to move it to the front and kind of get it ready. Good, it's all lubed up. That's it, it's that quick. And there's still some more stuff I can do to it. It's not quite right, but not now.
That's it. Nice, huh? Let me freshen this up. Hold on. I gotta reload the page so that, because it gets a little bit out of sync. Let's see if it works without disconnecting everything. But yeah, pretty cool. Let me shut off that for now so that there's no potential for feedback. Let's see. It gives you one, too many commercial ads. You know, it was awesome. I sent you a Facebook link. Well, apology accepted. Papa68 says, I have pretty much the same yard machine snowblower I know they were very common and built well, but the lower starter bolts are stripped. Well, I did a video. He's glad it easily starts by pulling. 2001 machine works great. I did a video on basically same machine, and it's out there, and I put Healy coils in. No problem. Super easy to do. Malices, those are definitely the same ties I have on the Craftsman GT. Yeah. Isn't that thing mint? This thing's just mint. And it was messed up when I got it. And there's a couple of videos out there on it. I replaced the drive disc and a few other things and got it all cleaned up. He goes, love that song. He goes, and that engine is singing. It's running okay, you know. It's Sunstar time. It needs a carburetor rebuild. It didn't need one, but from sitting for too long. But it doesn't have the adjustable carburetor, the main jet, adjustable main jet on the bottom next to the little, what I call the French tickler, the ball drain. But I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, that snowblower engine is, I think it's a 12 horse with the cast iron sleeve in it. So that's a nice engine. And I'm thinking this really deserves a proper carb. And then while I was walking around, I'm like, wait a minute, what's on that machine, that engine that Mike gave me? Let me reach under. And I did the reach around, and I'm like, oh, I feel French tickler. Oh, what's that? Right? Is that a needle adjustment on the bottom? So when I get a chance, I'll pull that off. I'll pull that carburetor off. And if it's in good enough shape to rebuild, I'll probably pull the whole motor off, put the motor away, and I'll rebuild that carburetor, and then I'll pop that carburetor on my nice big green monster. And because you know what? Part of the problem is, and I've noticed this where I am, right? So I'm only a couple of feet above sea level. And it's not uncommon that when the motors get a little older and the valves maybe don't seat as well or whatever, but on the Tecumsehs, if you have very high barometric pressure on a day like today and a storm is coming in, you'll tune it. Let's say today I get everything out and very high barometric pressure and it running lean. I tune it. I get it running sweet. Then the storm comes and the pressure drops. Here we have a lot of pressure, a lot of oxygen. And then when it goes low and the storm comes in and you go out there, it's running too fat. And so you reach underneath and you just make a little bit of an adjustment. And the Briggs motor has the same thing. You make a little bit of an adjustment. She's running sweet. And then the storm starts to pass, or the next day you come and there's high barometric pressure. Now it's the wrong tune. The motor don't want to run right. You reach underneath and you make a little bit of an adjustment. And all of the older machines that I ran years ago, they all had that. And I'm like, no problem. I'll just reach underneath and make an adjustment. You can't do that with a fixed jet. And I think that these motors are just very particular to that. You know, they come up that tube, right, that manifold tube. It has to make the turn, has to come all the way up. It makes a two right angle bends. And they're not efficient motors. They're powerful motors. They're decent motors. I'm not going to say they're great or anything at Tecumseh. They're good motors. But they are a little temperamental. There could be a little something in there. The motor hasn't been run. You know, I built a machine. We had almost no snow. It sat. I used it a little bit. It sat. I started up last year. I ran it. I put it away. It pretty much sat. Oh, an offer up. I wonder if anybody's asked me. He goes, no, of course it's not for the, it's 1010. Nice. Of course it has nothing to do with my ad. No, nobody's hitting on it, right? Nobody wants it. There's snowstorm bearing down and nobody wants a snowblower. You can't give it away. Like the whole industry is just shit. People don't have any money. It's very expensive to live here. It is what it is, you know? And that's why I'm trying to do other things with my channel as well, because like this industry is crap. Like you have to be in an area where you're dealing with contractors and stuff, or it's more rural. And I keep saying it's like where I came from, there is no industry there for this. It's electric motors, right? So slowly transitioning away from a lot of this stuff and slowly getting into some other stuff. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what I was doing before we leave, because we got a little bit of time left. All right, an hour and 43 will go 2 hours. But you guys love that tractor. I love that tractor. And you know, just to finish up on that tractor, when Mike brought it over, it was so beat up. It still is. But I said to Mike, and I tell this to so many people, you know, Mikey, I got it running. Basically, it kind of ran, but I got it running. I fixed it up enough. We did a bunch of things to it, and I literally put it into use right away. You saw I was towing that Volkswagen back and forth in my yard before I sold it. I just started using it right away, and then I would work on it a little bit more. Usually that's not a thing. Like you guys know, like I get stuff in here and it's crap. It can't be used. It doesn't work. And I wind up having to go over these entire machines, and then they're useful. Or it becomes parts, like that thing out, that creature outside, that green creature outside, which is currently parts. But I may, steal the motor from it. If I check the auger, it seems like it's okay. If I throw a 5 horsepower motor on it and it kind of works, that'll be the last 5 horsepower to come I have laying around. And next year I'll probably, have to do it. And if it sells, but most of the stuff is crap. Like it's just, if I can fix it, if it's parts or something else, and I can fix it. It's so rare to have a machine where I can actually start kind of using it while it's still kind of broken and it's not right. And it's just so rare. And it just blows my mind, and it's hard to describe. Like it still needs work. But it still goes, And I'm not abusing it or anything. It'll get some more work. I'll make it pretty like that other one in the backyard that Big Mike has. And so I'm getting ready to pull the engine out of his machine. And I took about a week, like I said, just to spend some time on that electric motor for the lathe. And let me show you a little bit of that before we get out of here. I'm just going to buzz through everything. And I'll get that motor on. There's something I want to do. I want to make that bolt for this John Deere zero turn. If I can't make it, I'll order the stupid thing. And then as soon as that John Deere is done, then I'm going to yank the motor and get that big tractor out of there. And I got to go grab the other tractor and yank that motor. So, and then I got another machine in the backyard to fix, a walk behind, that Cub Cadet that he keeps breaking. And I can get that out of here. And then he hit me up the other day because I think he's looking to dump stuff off, the contractor Mike, because he has no place to put it. He's like, the stander doesn't work again. The switch isn't working right. I'm like, yeah. He's like, can I bring it by? And I said, no, I don't have enough room. He's trying to find places for shit. Like, I'll fix it, but you know what? When I'm done with his other 2 machines, he can take them back, and then he can drop off the stander. And I'll fit that in, We only have a little more than 2 months. That's it. We got basically 2 months now of this cold, for those of us that are in the north. We got 2 months of this crazy weather, and then we'll be back into the thick of things again. So let me show you a little bit about what I was up to. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Let's see, let me minimize you. Which is a nice break, 2-month break. I am definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the next 2 months, and I'm looking forward to the 2 months after that, and the 2 months after that. Let's see, yeah, here we go. I'll show you how it wound up. Let's see, do we move it to here? I'm going to move it to there, to here. Let's move it to here. We can close this down. We don't need this. Right? And then I could bring in that. I get the audio. Bring you guys back up. Let's see. He goes, did you ever show T a pic of Roxy? No, I'll have to show her. I'll send one over. Do the family chat. Here's how it wound up. Here's the test. Make sure it all comes through. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm running 2 cameras, so. All right. Did I plug it in? No. Hold on. Yeah, I plugged it in. All right, another clap. Where is it?
All right, let's look. So I'm going to bring it outside in the other room and give it another quick clear coat. We already painted it, but it's all together. You can't really see it, but I did rub a little bit of black in there. It's not bad. All right, it's old. So now we should be green light. Let's turn it on. Nice pigtail. Oh, little blink. Be careful. We can see it spinning this way. We'll get out my white marker, and I want to write on it up here. I think this way we'll go F for forward. All right, and I think that way we'll go R reverse. So now we're going to go reverse. There it goes. And we'll go.
So I think that's
So,
1940s is what I'm kind of getting. It's prior to 1950.
And then when it'll dry, by the
That
time I
motor.
bring it outside, hold on, you'll see it go towards the toolbox.
Where are we
can't
in it?
see.
Yeah.
In this view, top view. Yep, going away from me. So let's go back to there. All right, let me spool it up. All right, I guess, well, tomorrow when I have time, it just clear,
Not.
right? And it also locked down this because this would come off with anything like oil or whatever. But yeah, isn't that nice? Sorry, Mike, I'm using your parts tractor to spray parts on, but I'm protecting it. Yeah, that came nice. All right, so, and then that'll plug in. There's a couple of places, so I don't know what video this will be on or what'll come out first. So it can plug in there, excuse me, or this I made up for the welders, and also with the two different outlets for the different welders, and also 110 for grinders and lights and whatever else. See, same kind of plug there with a different one. Now I need a plug. I also need a plug in an outlet for outside for the generator. Same kind of setup. So I want to get plug and outlet. It's basically 4 prongs, and one of them will be a ground. And the same setup for outside on the other side of this wall is a perfect place for it, down a little bit, kind of where I put the generator. And then maybe even a transfer switch, which I thought I had one. So maybe in a weather box, something like that. Now you don't need a transfer switch because as long as you put a breaker in. So there's room for one more breaker here, which is fine. And then we could put a transfer breaker in.
Sacrilege, Mike.
The way this works is
Sacrilege.
this is the main. So essentially power comes in here. And that's your 220. And then this is all 120. Okay, there's plenty of room there. So that's a sub to that. And this is essentially, what is this? How many amps is this? 100, 150, I think is what we got. 100, something like that. And I just recently upgraded the house and also got a new 200 box in the house. So we're 200 amp. And all this runs underground. So here is, I forget what goes here. Underground here. I think it's just electric, and the other side is gas and water and internet. But oh, by the way, there's still room to pull. Like I have another pole here. See, so there's an empty. So if I wanted to, I could pull internet in there if I run into problems in the other one, and we could just come up and over, which really isn't a big deal either.
Let's see, is there one more on this one? I think that's it for here. Yeah. And then I'll show you the inside. Hold on. Let's minimize you. And I think I just kind of go Where is it? Go here and find one. Find one. Here's all the drawings I made. I'll just show them to you real quick.
I dropped the brightness down a bit.
Look at all these different drawings.
Oh, they called it. I came up with amp 250.
All right.
For the static inertia.
Reversing.
So there'd be
it's upside down. I'll put it the right way.
Next to the arm. By a peak here.
Like this stuff, nobody really wants to watch it until they want to do something like this.
To the last later, even with some mounting to these two.
More drawings.
And blue. Right.
Now, do I go backwards? I think I go
on
backwards.
The second switch.
Yeah, we go backwards. Now this is the other view of what you just saw, I think.
I plugged it in. All right, now
yeah.
So you can't really
so
see it,
two
but
cameras, two camera views.
On.
If I want a split screen or something.
Oh, little blink marker. We will go off.
So that's the top-down view.
Just towards there. I'll give it.
Then
Just
we come back this way.
All right, so I got some in February.
Look! Oh, look how that's
February.
look at the. Hold on, wait. This is old.
USA Eagle patent. It's in February of February 27th, 1923. Made in USA. So I'm definitely getting plenty in there.
1923, that little oiler is.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see how it looks. I'm pretty happy
Let me
with
get you into what it looked like.
I got the heat on. It's squeaky away. I'm going to put a little bit of that.
Trying to oil the bearings. That's the mess in there after I ironed all that out.
And like I said, I did.
Let's see here. You can see inside the box. I'm doing some testing.
On a room.
Yeah, you'll get a look.
But I want to close it.
Oh.
Yeah. What a mess, huh? Yeah, it just fits in there. That's why I use these bigger boxes. And this, I got to put a connector on it. Once I drill
and mount it
through this box to mount it, and I know what size lug I want to use, probably something like a pin. We get a, and then reverse. We get a red light. I might even put one of those. Let's see.
So it has a start cap on it, and I'm reversing the starting cap.
Turn that on,
so that the motor starts in the opposite direction.
Whether you can kind of see here a little bit more terminals. That's going over to the cap, and the normal back around.
Right, that's a basic explanation. And this is just some more wiring, more testing.
This area here up top.
Oh, I'm actually showing here is the feet had a crap ton of burrs inside, casting flash. That was another reason why I couldn't adjust it. There was so much in there that the bolts would get hung up on it. So I couldn't adjust the motor. This is some of the older wiring as I'm running out the circuits.
So we got to remember.
Where'd it go? Oh, I know, yeah. Hold on. Go back a little further. I want to go back even further. So if somebody wants to make a reversing switch, which a lot of people do.
I just checked it both ways.
This motor has the ability for reverse. So in that pocket right there,
on it,
right, is actually where you can reverse this particular motor. It's not labeled like the newer motors are because this is like 1940s. And I'm testing out the circuits and writing everything down because I got to know exactly what's going on. So I'm reversing these two leads with the pigtail, and that's how I get the motor to reverse. Let's go back a little further. But I have to know which one is hot and which one goes to the inertia switch.
Sure.
Let's see if I can go back a little bit further so you can see what was in here initially. These are some of the parts. Yeah.
You're going to hear the heat run a little bit.
That's some of the original wiring.
It's starting to get cold. It'll stop in a bit.
Yeah, here's where I think you see it.
That we need.
It was really bad.
Yeah, so we got...
It was falling apart.
It wasn't even twisted on anymore.
Yeah, the wire nut wasn't even on there. It was just laying there.
It looks like we have white.
Fortunately, all the wires in the motor were fine. And I re-enameled them
These two
on the
wires
outside.
come from the motor.
We'll leave these together. See if we can go back a little further. Yeah, it was a mess. I don't know what that is. Doing something. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're too far back. Let me come back. Old stuff. So kind of, you know, when you're doing stuff like that, it's old. The switch wires going to the switch, they just literally fell apart. All the insulation fell off of it. Just oxidized from being out. 1940s at least. So the lathe is from 1910, or it's patented in 1910. It was probably built somewhere around 1910, 1920. Somewhere around there. And I don't know yet. I'll investigate that more when I can read more of it when I get it cleaned up. And it was the same thing with the motor. The diagrams and stuff that were on the boiler plates, I had to clean them off to read them and then rub in some grease pencil after I got the rust off and then rub it with my fingers. And then I was able to start to see stuff. And I could figure out what was going on. So I had a motor legend plate at some point. He goes, 102 years old, Bravo says, wait, hold on. Did you ever show Tia a picture? Oh, yeah, I want to see you talking. Hey, Mitch. He goes, Brett says, I'll send a video of it. Definitely. Sounds like my garbage disposal, right? And he goes, Brett says, that is a 1 horsepower incinerator I bought back in September. Yeah, he said you updated that. I can't use that here because we have a cess tank here, the cesspool. So it's too much for it. I wouldn't want to put that much material into it. Knock wood, I've had pretty good time of it so far. And Johnny says, 1923, 102 years old. That's even older than me, right? It's older than you, right? Older than wood. But nice project. That's going to be on the channel soon. I'm just trying to collect video footage of it, get a little bit more work done. I said I would steal a little bit of time. I did. I stole a little bit of time. I'm going to put the motor back on when I get a chance sometime next week. I want to make that little thing for that green machine. And then I won't be able to touch it until I get Mike's tractor out of here. And then I'll be able to go back to it and steal some time. I'll steal time in there. So now it'll all come apart. So this is another mock-up because I couldn't get the motor to line up. The wires were shot. I knew it was a problem. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to take all of this stuff off, and I think I showed you guys a week or so ago, using the hoist that Mike gave me and my old engine hoist and the chain pull, I'm able to dial it in. But there was a lot of casting flash in the motor feet, and the bolts are big, the 3/8, and they just basically fit through the motor feet. And then as you would turn the nuts, the bolts, it would rack, and I would lose my adjustment. And you got to be dead on. So there was a lot of missing pieces. Things weren't completed. It is old. You're talking about a lot of work. Service mock-ups, but having that chain pull made it easy. That's a heavy motor, and with those big pulleys on them and everything. So I'll figure out the pigtail. I'll finish it up. I'll get it on there, and then it'll all come apart because at this point now, it all comes apart and gets cleaned and then slowly painted and put back together. It's going to be a little harder to clean it now because the hoses are frozen. But I blow out my hose back here with the air compressor, and I have access to another bib inside. So as long as it's above freezing, unfortunately cleaners and materials and paint, they don't dry right, and they don't work right when it's really cold out. And once I start painting, I got that fire blanket up between the two buildings, so I can open a window or a door for a little while. But this stuff stinks. And, even like I smoke, I have to open a window at some point. I'm not going to sit in here and have a cigarette where the air is filled with smoke any more than I want to sit in here where the air is filled with gasoline fumes or paint fumes or anything. So I might open a window, leave for half an hour or whatever. Same thing like when I run a motor and a lot of smoke comes out of it. I'm running in here for a little while. I mean, in the summer, in the spring, in the fall, with the windows are open, I mean, I've smoked this place out with some of these motors, but you got to leave. You got to walk out for a little while. But in the winter, it freezes the place out. So I lose all the heat. It is what it is. I don't want to wait until March to do all of that either, So I'll just have to go a little bit slower. I did load up on some of those new grinding pads and stuff. By the way, I wanted to show you guys. Look, so I went to go move the red machine. I was thinking about putting that red snowball. I was thinking about putting it in the shed. I put the green one in the shed, so it's easy to get to. Hold on, where is it? What do I do with it? Here. So I'm like, it's running good. I don't need the electric start for the red machine. I'll just pull the handle. And the rope broke. I'm like, oh my God, I can't get away from this red machine. It doesn't want to leave. It's not a bad machine. So tomorrow I got to fix it. Nobody's going to come running to buy the thing. So tomorrow when I get a chance, I'll pull the pole starter off. I have some nice rope. I'll put fresh rope on. It's been sitting. I don't know. It looks like it maybe even got chewed. I doubt anything really got at it. It was outside. It was covered. But still, rodents, whatever, get in. Maybe it'll sell. We'll see. Right. I still have, like I said, like about 2 months of potential winter and snowfall. Usually if it used to be if I put a snowblower up for sale around like right before Thanksgiving, it would sell. It would have sold by now. And that machine I could have got $400 for. I've gotten $350 for older machines that were really rusty and I had to paint them. I mean, I did paint that red one, but it didn't need but a freshening up. Now nobody wants to buy anything. But that's the story of the way things are going. They don't have the money. It's too expensive here. It's too expensive everywhere. People don't have the cash. Unless they absolutely need it. Or, but they'll put hundreds and hundreds of dollars on an Amazon card, right? Buying garbage from China. That they'll buy, trinkets. Plus the other thing too, it's not like a lawnmower, right? One of the things about a lawnmower, ubiquitous, everybody needs, but it also fits in your trunk or in the back of an SUV. Like this guy that called me, he's like, how am I gonna get my machine to your place? I said, well, I'll have to talk to Juan, and we'll have to work out a charge because Juan does the hauling. But I got to ask him. It depends upon where the person lives, how big the thing is, and usually he only has time about once a week or sometimes at night. So I got to call Juan up. But, tomorrow's snow and everything, and it's Sunday. That's a Monday thing, I said to the guy. So I'll get back to him. We'll see. But I'm not going to go over it. One guy, he asked me, well, I got one hit, and it was way to hell in the other county. He's like, do you deliver? No, not to there. No. So anyway, a little bit at a time, right? Trying to spread things out. I did pick this thing up. I bought a couple of little things to get out here on this. So, and this is more for me, again, hobby, and for the other channel. I had sold a lot of my equipment years ago, and I sold off my good mics. Hey, Mike! Hey, mics! So I bought this thing. It's a nice little condenser style mic, cardioid pattern. Company's been in business for about, 30-something years, 37 years. It was not expensive. It was about 50 and change. And so this one, you can use it for vocals, but it's also good for guitar amp. So you can kind of like lay it right across your guitar amp and right in front of the speaker. And I also picked up some more audio cables. These are 15 feet, 20 feet. I picked up 2 of them. Decent audio mic and headphone cables, but these are smaller. They're not like the guitar cords, with the 1/4-inch jack. These are smaller because you're dealing with AV, audio visual cameras, computers, sound cards, camera style microphones, things like that. This is a balanced jack, right, with the 3 things in it. So I have to convert it. And I may need a mixer. I got rid of my mixer. It was an old mono. I shouldn't have gotten rid of it. There's so many things I shouldn't have gotten rid of. So I may need another mixer. I may not be able to power that microphone properly through the sound card preamp. So that'll be something else I'm looking into. But again, most of that will be on the other channel where I'll talk about, products like this, what my I buy them. All right. It's, it maybe someday comes where people want to sponsor me, but I don't really like that. I don't want to be beholden to a particular company unless I really like the company. Like I love Super Clean and Hip is Cool and all that. By the way, they watched another video of mine. Like I didn't tell them. There was a video I put out there with some hippie stuff. I'm like, they don't know. They don't know that I'm doing this video. They found out. I'm like, but they'll know now. They'll watch it. Right? That's why I like that company. I like a company that is willing to put personal time in with the people that they work with. Having been in businesses where I've had those experiences where I'm working with people and they care about what they do and they're working for the company and they're a company, so to speak, a company person. I've had good experiences with that. And of course, we've all had bad experiences with people that don't give a shit and companies that don't care about you or whatever, or the people that are working with their workers and what have you. And it's just horrible. So those experiences where you feel like you're supported to some degree, they pay attention, they listen, they'll do the best they can with what they can do. And people make mistakes and companies make mistakes, but when they cover for stuff properly and honestly, that's a big bonus for me. I don't care where you're located on this planet. When you get decent people for a pretty decent company doing the best you can, what else can you ask for? So hopefully this will work out good. If I don't like it, I will say it. And that's what'll be on the other channel, this kind of stuff. And I'm going to need other things to compare it to. But I've also been doing this stuff for years. Now, like this is a Rode mic, and they're expensive. They're very good products. I think they're still made in Australia. I don't know how much they work with Japan and China, but they were making them in Australia. So even though it's a camera style microphone, I've used it on my guitar. I've used it for other things. It is a really good microphone. It's a lot more money than this. So small things, cheap, on a budget is really going to be the premise mostly of that channel. Things on a budget. What do you do with them? What do you need to connect from here to there? Or, what did I use? What do I recommend? How do you do it? How do you connect it? What can you do with it? Stuff about video editing and audio in general. That kind of shit. And electronics. And a lot of it's going to be newer stuff, the really cheap stuff, and then some of the vintage stuff that I come across from time to time. Like I was looking at some old Sansui receivers, and there was I think it was a Magnavox, and there was a bunch of others. I see them around, and some of that equipment, when you repair it, it's actually very good. I mean, back in the day, we loved it. Cooked it to our big speakers. I had all that stuff. I had tons of that stuff. It's hard to find in good shape. I saw a set of Wharfdale cabinets. I had a nice set of Wharfdale. Wharfdale back in the 60s was like thousands back then. But the drivers were blown, but the cabinets were all nice shape. They were all like, good wood, plywood, not press board, plasticky. It's like finished plywood with a veneer on it. You can redriver it. I was thinking about those, but it was a little big. Like 15-inch drivers. I'm like, I don't know if I want that. That's a little bit big. Because I used to have them up in the ceiling. But I didn't use a 15-inch. I think they were 10s or 12s. And I had 3 different drivers with crossovers. And they were nice speakers. I forget what cabinet it was. It was a different cabinet, too. Just like this is the kind of stuff that I also want to do on the other channel. Plus music and how, some things about music and playing music and guitar and what have you. And recording it. And doing videos and how to set up a video. There's people that start channels that, they do the phone, but then if you want to move to like a regular camera or do a live show, I was listening to a fellow today, and he had been doing lives for years. He said the first time he did an actual live show, and he said it took like a month or so. He couldn't figure out how to stop the feedback, and you see this on Ken's show a lot too. Where everybody's yelling, you got feedback. If you're listening on YouTube, you have to shut off or mute your YouTube that you were watching us on and just stay on Restream or whatever. People don't know. So you can make an entire channel completely different on stuff that it seems so obvious and simple, but people don't know. You can just help them out and tell them. So again, once again, helping people out. All right, I'm just about ready to get out of here. Just want to check the chat. And let's see. Bravo says, I used a Galeri Mobius airbrush for some paint correction. Oh, what's that? On my old Stornado, the owner of Galeri contacted me. I was blown away. Right? This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. I've never heard of that product, but is that like a really nice airbrush? Good, I can't freaking spell. Galeri. Speaker box design. I'm there. Yeah, right? Well, I built some custom speakers. I built a set for my friend Rob for a Chevelle project years ago, right? He wanted to put a custom stereo in it. At the time, his shop was more set up as well for more woodwork, but I still have those tools. I can reset this, not in here, but in the other room. That's going to be for the dirt and the dust and whatever. But there's a couple of companies out there now that are specializing in do-it-yourself or speaker design and speaker boxes. I have a book this thick on speaker design, and believe me, I read it. I don't understand all of it, but I get it. And there's formulas and stuff in there. And that's where Rob basically got the formula for this weird design that he had to mount his speakers in the back. And they sound good. I had a set of Altec Lansing Voice of the Theater PA bins. They were huge. Floor standers. Like, taller than this desk. So this is 36 inches high. And at least this wide. And my neighbor just threw out the set that my friend Steve built off of that design. He just scaled it, downsized a little bit, and built the cabinets. We put it together. He loaded it with speakers, and it sounded great. And then eventually they got too big for him, so my neighbor took them. And then a couple of years ago, he threw them out, and I should have taken them. But like I said, at that time, I didn't know if I was going to stay here. I have so much crap. I need 2 tractor trailers to move everything. I'm like freaking out. I want to go down to my brother's in Carolina. I'm like, David, he's like, just come down. Well, there's no just come down. What's the cost? How much is it now to move 2 40-foot trucks on tractor trailer? Back then, it was cheaper than it is now. It's scary. It's scary the amount of stuff that I sell and get rid of and I still have this stuff. It's scary. And it frightened the hell out of me. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I can't physically move it, Because I've seen, what, Malhouse, because I've seen videos of stereo systems that cost $2.5 million. Yeah. Well, there are people here on the island and down over on the other island over there on Fire Island. They have ridiculous stereo systems like that, AV systems. I had a nice AdCom amp, 250 watts a channel, that my friend Mike gave me. It didn't work. It would freak out. And I checked it out, opened it up, looked in there, went through it. I didn't see anything really wrong with it. It was a very high frequency. Now, these are high power amps. So I took one of the boards out, disconnected everything, and resoldered everything on the board and cleaned it. Put it back, never had a problem again. It was blowing fuses and circuit breakers. And yeah, like some of this stuff, you recap it. So some of this older stuff can be fixed and is extremely useful. And that AdCom amp, and generally it would have been another small little AdCom preamp or some other kind of preamp that you would have used with it. Probably a few grand, for the 2 pieces together. I can't afford that new. So it's got to come to me used or broken or whatever or older. And also I want to buy, like my friend Rob says, he comes on here a lot, right? AZ or, RW. And he says, try Temu. I don't want to try Temu. Meanwhile, I've said to you guys, and again, this will be on the other channel, I might buy a $60 amp, 200 watt amp from Temu because it's $60 and it's 200 watts and it's $60. And I can put it up on that channel and go, look, everyone, I bought a crappy $200, $60 200 amp or 200 watt amp. And let's find out if it's any good and let's see how long it lasts. It's $60. You know, and if you want to build out like a little Porta studio or a little AV YouTube hangout zone studio, YouTube, watching YouTube, being on YouTube, whatever, like me, which is kind of like my hobby, and you don't have a lot of money, beggars can't be choosers, right? You're not buying the best equipment. The funniest thing, I walked this one place, JLI, years ago. Me and Robbie worked there, and they made disco equipment, PA equipment, you know, mixing equipment. Lewis will know. And they made all these mixers and turntable faders and everything. But there was a set of Bose 901s there. The company made their own speakers. This is one of the things they did. But and I don't know, they got damaged real bad. I remember walking past it, and they were, you know, because there were all these speakers that they put on, and there was some that were missing, some that were broken. And one of the guys wrote on it, piece of paper, he wrote on it, blows 901s. Robbie had one. He had a pair of those. I don't know if he still has them. I don't think so. They were okay. They were weird. You know, like, that's like the kind of hi-fi that you got to be like a real audiophile, and it's kind of the right room. He's got, I think it's got like an EQ. I think he still has it. If he was on, I'd ask him. He had his EQ where it has its own microphone. It's more like a sensor. And you place it in a specific spot in the room, and you pass different noises. It has its own generator, and you pass these different noises through it, and it samples the room. You know, the way the room projects and bounces sounds off and everything. And then it helps you to kind of EQ the room. Now, I don't really know much about it, so if he was here, it would be great. I don't know if you really need something like that. Still, you'd want to tailor it to your own ear. But yeah, there's, especially today, you know, with AI getting into things. And in my editor, in my video editor, there's some AI stuff. I was having problems with noise, background noise in my recordings. I told you guys, there was that one time where the crickets were so loud, and I didn't think it was that bad in here, but when I played it back, I'm like, this footage is useless. They had created a transient noise that was so high-pitched and coming through the recording, you know, and the audio of the video, I'm like, nobody can listen to this. And I tried to pot it out and pan it out a little bit manually with the noise tools and, you know, the noise removers. And I did okay on the first pass, but if you go too deep on that, it makes the voice sound garbled and crap. And then they had updated it, and they had, it's kind of like an AI backed thing. And I didn't really know what to do with it. And then one day I'm like, I have no choice. I have to play around with this, or I'm not going to post the video. I started playing around. I was like, oh my God. And it works by sensing the speech. And since it's just me talking in the video, it's not music, and there is the sort of quiet part, it samples the quieter parts. You lock onto that noise, and then it attenuates that noise when you're not speaking in a different way than when you do speak. So it's got these two sort of different levels. So it doesn't completely ruin my audio, the speaking audio, because it's not just this one setting. It's one setting for when I'm not speaking, and it's another setting that as soon as I start to speak, it goes into that setting. And once I started fooling around, I was like, oh my God, like it's not 100%, but this is now usable. I can post this video. So stuff like that I want to share on this other channel, especially for people that, like me, that are newer at it, or, you know, not complete geeks, or like, what do I do? You know, a 30-minute video, you put all that work into it, what are you going to do, throw it out? You can't post it because no one's going to watch it. As soon as they hear that noise for any length of time, they're going to be like, oh, I can't stand this. Because I do it, right? There's stuff that I watch, and I'm like, if it's too many commercials, and if it's got some... The other thing, too, I see on Facebook a lot is I get the TikTok feeds and the X feeds and all this other stuff, and I'm sure you guys know. We'll get out of here on this. You know when there like is a little thing that they put up, a little short that they'll put up, and they're talking about something. And it sounds like something you might want to listen to. Except in the background, they got this creepy noise or something else going on that they've put a superimposed audio on top of it. And you can't hear what the person is saying because they put this stupid background noise or music on it. And I'm like, I don't know what the person's saying. Click next. And it's too loud. Like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to put music in the background or whatever, and then you're going to speak on top of it, you better give real consideration to how loud that volume of that music or noise or weird sound. Sometimes it's these creepy sounds, like you get the conspiracy files, and they get, wee, wee. It's like Chillin theater, right? Remember that? With the hand with the 6 fingers, the 7 fingers that comes up. Remember that? It's like, it's so unprofessional. It's so hokey. You just ruin your video. So that's the kind of stuff that like the next channel will have, right? Or live shows, right? Let me see what you guys do on that. He goes, I sent those vids to T. All right, hold on. Let me see. Wait. I want to see him real quick. I want to see him real fast. Yeah, I have so many vids of my cats, but like they're not on my phone or anything, and they send me tons of crap, the family. Let me get him wider. Hold on, we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. What's he standing on? Oh, hold on, fellas. Let's back this up.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I got stuff I want to tell you. There's the other one. Let's see this one here. Oh, the cat in the background. That's funny. Mine are getting so chubby. We're putting them on different food. I think they already put them on the food. And they hang out. We have the auto feeders. And as soon as that makes that sound, they go freaking out and they run to it. And Mama Marley stands by it and prays to it. She just thinks, and she tries to stick a paw up in the hole or whatever. She's such a little chubbis now. She just loves eating. But she'll come get me, I told you, and to let me know that, did this do it again? Hold on. I'm not getting the X. Yeah, it's screwing up something's happening. Yeah, it's screwing up my every shit. I'm not getting the X to get out of that. Once I get any, what do you get? Like viruses and stuff? Trojans? Let's see. I remember oh, wait. Yeah, Bravo says, shit, man, I've been rebuilding speakers for years. Lots of videos on it. Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go back and check. I got to go deep. Is what you're telling me? How long have you had your channel, Johnny? I have to go deep? Because I'm still slowly getting back into that stuff. Now that I have a little bit more time and my interest is taking me back in that direction, which I've been doing for years as well. I remember my pap had an old GE console stereo, 1,000 watts. Yeah, AM, FM radio, turntable, reel to reel, and even came with wireless speakers. Wow. Yeah, hi-fi, total hi-fi. Really cool stuff. People were into it. Yeah, back in the day, sure. People were really into it. I think it's going to come back. I think it'll slowly, because now you have the Bluetooth boom boxes, but they're getting bigger, and they require more power. And some of the small bookshelf speakers I was looking for, I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a self-powered bookshelf speaker, and I'll use them as monitors, for up here, for video work and the music work, because this is not loud enough, these little speakers. They're just not. I mean, you can hear like a one tune I played, a short. One of the cool things about a guitar amp and F-hole hollow body guitar is it will, if you're loud, it will kind of feed back in its own way. And I could hear it in the video. And I'm like, I was going to remove this sound because it is a bit of a blurb kind of a sound. I'm like, no, leave it, because That's the sound of loud guitar amp pushing back in through my guitar. Like, yeah. But my old equipment could stay, in terms of volume, could keep up with this guitar amp. This stuff, I have to wear a headphone because it can't. And then if I turn the volume down too low, I don't get that feeling in the sound I like, which is a different sound and feeling than, let's say, if you plug directly into a board with what they call like a Sans amp, because you could do it that way, and then you could just go through headphones and nobody hears anything but the little plinking of your guitar, which does not sound anything like what's actually going into the electronics. But that's a whole nother thing. Bravo says, you definitely need that calibrated mic to set up surround sound. Yeah, it does help. I use them in my living room, computer room, and especially in the media room. Yeah, it definitely does help. Bravo says, by the way, the media room has 17 speaker surround sound system. Yeah, for something like that, you're going to need help. That's a lot. Pavlov's cats. Chili Billy. Yeah, you definitely need help. I had this surround. I told you guys the story. I had it set up for a while. It was just like a 5.1 or whatever it was, 7.1, whatever it was. Yeah, something like that. And I had it all set up. And then Liz comes over, hanging out with my future ex-wife. And what do they do? But they rearrange the room because that's what they do. Liz admitted to me that when she admitted that when she feels out of control of her life and she can't control the things in her life, she can't control the arrangement of her living room. Except for now. Now it's at the point in her place where there is no other options. It's too small. Too many things have changed. There's only one way you can do it. But yeah, they rearranged it. And I'm like, well, now the seating arrangement and everything doesn't match the surround in the room. And it was working really good. Like if you heard a doorbell ring in the movie, right? You're watching a movie, you looked over at the door and you're like, whoa, did the doorbell go off? What was that? Is the phone ringing back there? No, it was the surround. And then after they rearranged everything, I'm like, the wires went through the floor, up through the walls, all this work. And I'm like, well, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm moving out, right? Like, there's no concern for me, Like, I can't even plow. They won't even let me move the cars off the street, not out of the driveway. Put them on the front lawn. No. Johnny's right. Live by yourself and then invite the ladies over. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later.